Check it out. Come and check us out. If we think this is sports show, come see what we about. Check it out. Come and check us out. If we think this is sports show, come see what we about.
Jay-Z in a Nets jersey. Reggie got Indiana. And he was.
So you can see how everybody.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
It's crazy how he was making the cuts, making the.
Why is he not better than him?
About to start, so everybody take a seat. We think it's sports, but sometimes we don't know. We asking that.
It's been a minute since I did one of those. It is your guy Mike D, and we are back for another episode of We Think It's a Sports Show. Got the guys here. Mills is here. Rad is here. We is down. Our guy Preach. Shout out to Preach. So whatever he's doing, and I'm sure Preach is doing Preach things, but we're gonna hold it down with our guy. Like I said, I got Mills here and I got Rad here. We got a great episode for y'all. You know, we're gonna talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers. We're gonna talk a little bit about Ye. We're gonna talk a little bit about just the NBA in general, NFL in general. A little fantasy football in there. Got to talk about that. But first, let's check in with our guys. I'm gonna go throw it to my guy Rad first. Rad, how was your weekend?
My week was cool. Regular weekend. Same old, family, kids, life, I guess. You know what I mean? So it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
How about you, Millie?
Weekend was cool. I didn't work. You know, it's a good thing to have weekends off for once. So, you know, I get the privilege to, stay home and relax. Don't got to worry about, waking up early to go worry about y'all mail. I get to stay in the bed, watch TV, read a little bit and try and catch up with the times, man.
All right. Well, so what times have you been catching up on? Like, what are you doing to catch up on the times? You watching like the news? You on the shade room? What you on, Mills?
I'm on Instagram for real. I'm on Instagram.
Oh, Mills on the gram. Mills on IG.
I've been asking my wife, like, yo, how you getting all this info before me? Because I'm getting most of my info from Facebook. She like, yeah, you got to follow right people on Instagram. The Shade Room, TMZ, stuff like that. So I follow them. So I'm crying. I'm on Instagram trying to keep up, see what's going on.
Mills the one to have the police app on his phone to see who get locked up tonight. Mills that guy, so he already.
Man, I used to love Mobile Patrol, man. Mobile Patrol every day.
He used Mobile Patrol as a social media app. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, that's nuts.
Let me refresh my feed.
That used to be the app.
Oh, my God.
And you can't just check Erie County. You got to check outside, Chautauqua, and all that. Because boys be moving out of the county, going to get arrested.
I remember I got locked up once. And Mills hit me with the, bro, you're not on Mobile Patrol. You good. I think that's what you retake. I don't think he texted me. He was like, you good. Shaking up in there, bro. Was everything all right? He said, bro, you're not on Mobile Patrol, bro.
I was
good,
there.
Bro.
I came to the spot.
Nah, bro, I got a text message. I remember that. I got a text message.
But I did text you like, yo, bro, you wasn't on Mobile Patrol, bro.
That's all he cared about, bro.
Yo, he couldn't wait to send that screenshot.
Because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you're Mobile Patrol. You get that mug shot.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Especially for suspended license. I'm good now, though. I'm good now.
I good.
I ain't India Walton out here. I'm good now.
You wasn't India Walton shit.
I ain't running for mayor either.
Oh, I'm crying. Yeah, but my weekend was dope. Let me brag about my weekend for a little bit. My pops came to town Thursday and Friday. We had tickets to the Pistons in 2019, but because COVID happened, our games got canceled. We was going to the Lakers game and the Clippers game, which I'm kind of tight. I want to see Brown. Games. I don't know. I was tight, but it worked out because we went to the Sixers and the Nets, and
that's good,
bro. It's crazy, right? Because it's kind of like when you talked about New York City, it made me think about that because I'm looking at Doc Rivers and Embiid and Steve Nash and KD and Harden. It's like Seth. They're like, yo, I know y'all. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I want to be like, yo, what's good, KD?
Yo, what's good, bro?
What's good, Harden? I was like, yo, they don't know me from a can of paint, but just seeing them like in person and then hooping. That shit was dope. That shit was fire because we were so close. to the court. Like we could hear the players, we could hear the refs talking to like the coaches.
Mike was on floor seat.
Yeah, bro. I was there. I don't know if your boys see my IG post, but like with the players going to tunnel, I was like right there.
I want to make that a goal, like to go to every sporting event if possible.
That'd be dope.
That'd be a pretty dope goal.
Go.
Yeah, we gotta see. Yeah, we gotta see. And we gotta see some of these players, man. We can't see Steph. With Steph, I mean, we're gonna talk about it. Obviously, Steph dropped 50. We gotta go see Steph. Like we gotta go see Steph. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to see Kobe, rest in peace. I'm happy I did that, but I want to go see Steph. I want to see LeBron. I want to see these players, and we live in a place where we can go see that. So we got to make that happen for sure.
Steph coming March 13th. It's a Sunday, I think.
That sounds like a perfect plan to me.
You know,
early birthday gift. Early birthday gift for me
on a Sunday.
I definitely know.
Coming on a Friday, pick your Friday, Saturday, go to the game Sunday. So we could make that happen. So that was dope.
Sound like it's happening, Mike. It's happening.
All right,
it will happen. I'm going to see Steph in Detroit.
We think it's sports, so we're going on the road.
Tickets on sale now for the low.
Yeah,
will we get them early?
Wow, Pistons are terrible, bro. People are giving away tickets.
And we can see K before he get better. I guess maybe
exactly.
He might get better. You know, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a go. That's a go. I want to see Steph. That's a go. But you can finish your weekend.
So, but yeah, just to wrap it up on that, it was a little sentimental too, because like we down there and we sitting, and my dad was just looked up like, damn. I remember sitting up in the nosebleeds. Like we started dying laughing because when the tournament came to Buffalo, we got tickets, bro. When I tell you, we had the highest. Like we had to walk all the way up. My dad was like, "Damn, it's more stairs." So I was like, "Damn," but at least like I got him in the middle. I got him like right directly in the middle. So we got like the best of the worst seats. But it was like, we was all the way up there, and now me and him was down there. Like a couple of years later, it was kind of like, then it's some full circle. So like, all right, this is progress. Now next is the floor.
Yes, sir.
I think
those leagues actually be more pricey than some of those good seats that people think are good. Like especially if you're in the center of the court.
If you could be behind the basket, if you're behind the basket. Same thing with football. If you're behind like the end zone, those tickets way down at the bottom is way cheaper than the middle, like second row, like at the 50-yard line for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's benefits to being on, the ends. You may get a football thrown at you. You may be that guy that get Tom Brady's, 600 touchdown pass.
A Bitcoin.
So
get something. So yeah, and then our guy Matt came in town. We kicked it with Matt, did a little folding, and watched the terrible Bills game. But it was good. I had a good weekend. Had a great weekend to get out and just be outside with some dope people. So
that's dope. That's dope.
Let's get right into it.
Shout out to Evie J. I mean, if she listening, she had a surprise birthday party. Me and Mills was there. Shout out to Evie J. So that was cool. Shout out to her. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Shout out to Evie J.
Yep. Shout out to Evie J. We rock with Evie J. So I was just vulnerable with y'all. So when we get into our relationship bag a little more when Preach not here. This Mills a married guy. You and I both engaged, so we get into a relationship bag a little more. So Preach not here, so
I'm engaged. I don't think I don't say that out there. Oh yeah.
It's crazy, right? So I have to remind you. Shout out to Sean DM me like, I'm just remind him, Brad, he engaged. We got to go. Just bring that up on the pod. But so my boys shared a Facebook post, and it was a meme. It said, "Everyone you meet will come with baggage. Find someone who loves you enough to help you unpack it." I guess first, let me just ask y'all what y'all think about that.
I think it's a valid statement. It's a valid statement.
Everyone you meet will come with baggage. Find someone who loves you enough to help you unpack.
It's a valid statement. I believe if you meet somebody or come in contact with someone that doesn't have any baggage, you might want to think about that decision you might be making.
Red flag? You saying no baggage is a red flag?
I think no baggage is a red flag.
No trauma is a red flag.
It's a red flag.
Wow, what world we live in?
Because you ain't go through nothing. You can't help me with any situations I may have now or in the future. You ain't go through nothing. Like you live in a perfect life, and we know ain't nobody perfect. So that's definitely a red flag. You might be Satan. You gotta go.
Well, I don't want to say, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy ending for you.
You might be Satan. You can't be just privileged and no privilege, huh? No.
You know, Satan come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. You know, it's Satan, man. You don't want nothing to do with that one.
Sometimes it's when you look in the mirror.
So I don't know. That's a little extreme for me, Mills. Because we don't got to unpack that too much. But just because you don't got baggage, that don't mean you ain't been through nothing. You know
I guess it comes out. What's the definition of baggage?
Like, so this is.
I guess trauma, like just you know, stuff that you dealing with that you know,
childhood trauma, anxiety. They got like you wear your heart on your sleeve, mental trauma, trust issues, toxic ex, stress, insecurities, depression, fear. You know, they got porn addiction on here.
Yeah. You coming with something, they can keep going. It's gonna be something gonna hit you on that.
I mean, some people might even see a pet, a dog, something like that.
I think that's a great thing to aspire to, just to talk about the topic, because because most people don't know how to unpack their own stuff. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest issue. Can you unpack your own stuff? Do you know? Most people don't even know that it's stuff to unpack. You know what I mean? A lot of people go into thinking they perfect, thinking they're fine, or they are this way because, well, you just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? So people want to change. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot going into that. So yes, you should aspire to find somebody like that, because that means they put work in themselves. You know, somebody who put work in themselves, somebody who unpack their own stuff. I would assume somebody who unpack their own stuff can only help you unpack yours. I would assume, or had to start the process. I guess. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you found somebody who did that, that means they did some work. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay. So I know he shared it and said no therapy. So we don't gotta get into that because I kind of subscribe to that, but I understand y'all, and I am with y'all at the same time. But I think sometimes we look for a person too often to be the one to fix us, and that's a lot to put on one person. Like, you need to go get clinical. I'm here for like the extra stuff, but like unpack a lot of that childhood and stuff, because I got my own stuff I have to unpack too. But my question for y'all is, to young men, when would you tell them to be vulnerable with, let's say their girlfriend, somebody they're talking to? When would you tell them to start being vulnerable with them? I don't want to talk about our own relationships because it get a little bit too personal, but just as an advice, if someone was like, how long would you tell somebody before you let people know some of your secrets?
That's a good question, actually. It's tough. It's real tough, because I guess it depends on how connected you are with that person and how you feel that, that relationship is going at that moment. Like, of course, you don't want to let too much out at the beginning stage, but, once things start going, things start, getting fluid, and, it's all smooth sailing, no bumpiness, and you can see yourself with that person, for the rest of your life, then you start opening up more and more, as time go on. When me and Lex was doing our marriage counseling, one of the things my pastor, suggested that we do is, like, each day or each week, let each other know something that we don't know about each other. There's always something out there that your significant other won't know about you, because it's just so much that, you've been through or you've seen, in your life. So how much to give is a big question. How much to give at that, that starting point, because sometimes once you give, that first little bit of information, for some people that may be a deal breaker, so you got to ease your way in to letting that information out. But it's a hard decision to make. Don't get me wrong. I think it's some stuff that my wife still don't even know about me that I'm trying, to open up, more and more about as time go on. But you gotta try and figure out when you feel comfortable to do it. Don't rush into it, though. I'll tell you that. Definitely don't rush into it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a timetable for this one. I think I would say, I think when you know, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess when you know. especially for men, you know what I mean? It's typically a little harder to get, it's like we got shields up. Well, for me, it's like I have shields up, and certain people get past each shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's reach different milestones.
Yeah. So each one, and then eventually you get close enough to the last shield, and I lift it up, and you could come into my, my world. So I think that's just, I don't know if it's a timetable to that. I don't know. I think it's just a natural thing. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, people, when you get vulnerable, people, they can use that as weapons and use that to hurt you, and use it to, when they hurt, hurt people. So you just gotta weigh that. You gotta see, what type of relationship, because some people I know have been in a relationship a long time, and I see their significant other use, a time when they was vulnerable against them, and that, you see that, and you like, whoa, like that's crazy that she would say that. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. So, so it all depends what, what it all depends. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I don't know. It all depends. I think it's a natural thing that hopefully you choose wisely and move forward with the significant other. And hopefully it matches. I'm going to be with that person for the rest of my life. I chose to be with you. I'm choosing to be vulnerable with you. X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's a timetable to that.
I like what you just added, but let me offer a little pushback first. Do you think it should be at least a bare minimum of time, or should it all just be feeling based?
A bare minimum time to be like
to open up.
I mean, to be a somewhat vulnerable, or to be like vulnerable. Like, this is the person I you know what I mean? Like, all the way you're going to tell them.
Not just spill everything, but just like even start opening up and letting them know something that could be somewhat embarrassing, or letting them know anything.
Like, give me an example, I'm how you feeling today? Like, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
Because
I just had a terrible day at work, and like, we've been talking for maybe 2 weeks. Can I just I had this happen to me, and this and this and this. This is going wrong. I'm behind on these bills. Yeah. Like, how? Yeah,
that's a feeling. I think that's a feeling. I think that's a feeling. You know what I mean? I really think that's a feeling. You know what I mean? Because too soon can be too soon. And then too long can be a problem too. You know what I mean? Because it could be like I don't know. I don't know you. You know what I mean? It could be a problem for some people. Like, I don't know. Like, we doing this thing every day, and what? I don't know you. So I think it got to be a feeling. I think for me, it's a feeling. I don't know if it's a right or wrong.
It can't be, though, for me, because
I think it comes natural, though.
Well, no, and this is why, let me offer some pushback. I'm thinking logically here. Obviously, nobody in this situation, it's all emotions. But logically speaking, you may feel how you feel after the first date, and you may be like, all right, we ready to rock. But that does not mean that it's time to start unveiling everything to this woman, because she may not be there. I think it has to be at least, because I don't think a lot of people they love hard, they love on heart on their sleeve. Like, people like meet somebody, the next day they want them to meet their mom. Like, people move fast and they think it's cool, and it's really not. That's why I think it has to be at least a bare minimum of some time, at least, or people get into their feelings way too soon and start telling stuff way too early, and people leave for stuff like, no, I can't rock with them. They are way too clingy. They way too emotional. You hear that a lot, especially for men that share too much. The clingy, he clingy, he this, he that. Like, you hear that a lot. Like, so that's another question I'm going to have after rebuttal that. But go ahead.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But what I would say to that is that person got to learn that. You know what I mean? Okay. That person. I mean, because you still don't know when. You still don't. It's still even if you say 5. What if you say 3 months? That still might be too long for some people. Some people be like, "Yo, we just chilling, bro. I don't want to be on your show crying on your shoulder." Like, some people that might.
We good. Like, come on,
3. Now that's crazy. So I think you still got to go through that. I think at some point, I mean, I don't know. Potentially, if you compete too fast, you'll learn. I think it's one of those things you learn. Like, okay, maybe I was too quick with that one. Maybe I got to pull something back. Maybe you say something and the response was like, kind of dry, not really what you was looking for. So that's a sign. Like, all right, let me pull it back. I'm not going, you know what I mean? So I think it's it's a trial. It's a trial by error, I guess. You know what I mean? You gotta fill out the person, the woman, because some women love that. Some women, want you to, pour into, love. Some women, kind of like he too much. I don't, you know what I mean? So it's like it's really based on a woman. You know what I mean? It's really based on a woman for real.
But if you having those conversations, they say communication is key in relationships. If you having those conversations with that person, each day, and y'all just talking, things will slowly, but surely come out on both ends. So you kind of know sometimes when it's the right moment, because y'all just talking, you're having that conversation. She hitting with her little stuff, and then you hit with your little stuff, and then it kind of like gels at some point. If y'all, taking those steps and getting to know each other.
Yeah, but Mills, I know you didn't talk to somebody, or maybe you haven't, but I know I have, and I know of people that I have who I didn't talk to, and was like 2 weeks in, like, come meet my parents, come have dinner, like, I'm gonna buy you this Xbox, like, I'll get you these games. Like, they were like wall in, and I was like, yo, I don't even know your last name. I'm never rocking with you like that. So it does, like, I think that's a lot.
Hopefully she didn't do that next time. Hopefully she didn't do that to the next. Hopefully she learned from that. Hopefully, right, but if she did, we'll see. Hopefully.
So but I like Rad Point because you said people weaponize it, and oh
man, I hear it all the time.
I want to, and I'm asking, do you think the majority of men, so there's 51%, that's all I need, of men then had some of their trauma weaponized against them in some form?
Of course, I think so. Of course. I mean, yeah, I think so, because who you choose. I mean, who you choose to tell your stuff to. Obviously, that's a big part of that. And women, yes, when women you hurt, when people, not just put women, people, when you hurt people, certain people dig deep, man. Some people dig deep. You know what I mean? Some people go for the jugular. And that thing you told them about what happened with your mom, that thing you told them about what happened when you was younger, that thing you told them, you know what I mean, when you was down for 6 months and you didn't have it and she was kind of holding you down, that is coming up, and that's coming up in the argument, all that type of stuff comes. I heard it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, geez, like who do you not do that to? So that means if you're doing it to you would do it to anybody. That person would stoop that low to anybody, I would think, at this point. But I've definitely heard it multiple times. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but I've definitely heard it. Hurt people, man.
A lot of people are afraid to open up because of reasons like that too. You look on social media and you just see people, airing stuff out.
Screenshots now
that you would expect not aired out. You know what I'm saying? And then that puts you in that position where you're like, yo, I'm terrified. I don't even know if I can trust you with this. You know what I'm saying? If something end up, in the wrong direction with us, this can be me. On the internet getting, looked at bad.
I got a story. I got a story I say, like, because, I'm not real big into like labels or whatever, blah 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 blah. But Sean think I'm like an introvert or whatever, which I got some maybe introverted qualities or whatever. But whatever. I have some qualities that can be considered introvert. So that's fine.
Same.
That's fine. Whatever. But I remember one day I was just tracing back to things that could have made me even more like that. I think I had some of that when I was a kid, but even more like that. So I go back to like high school. Y'all probably remember the story. I'm go back to high school. I'm not gonna say no names. Let's say I had a best friend named Samantha. In high school. I say it's about senior year. I had a best friend named Samantha. She was cool. Everything I kind of, best friend as a high school best friend is kind of like, I don't know. She was just kidding me up for like some brother stuff. I helped her, some relationship advice. I done saved some of our mans multiple times. I was, on the other side, I was trying to, save relationships and stuff like that, whatever. So Samantha came, she hit me up. It's like, yo, let's meet after lunch and let's talk. And it was kind of outside the norm. We don't, it was kind of like, okay, everything all right, like making sure everything good, because that was not the normal way. If we see, we text, we see each other, we see, you know what I mean? But let me meet you, so all right, boom. So we go out after lunch, and she comes and she says, I heard you were saying XYZ about me. I heard you saying I was, you know, I'll be on your jock and all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? And the first thing I said, I just laughed. I just, you know, I just giggled at it. I thought it was like some type of prank or something. Like, I didn't like, what? You know what I'm saying? She was like, no, I'm serious. She's like, I was like, are you? I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like lost for words. I was like, what? Are you serious? She's like, yes, I have sources. I believe my sources. And that person would never lie to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I'm literally like, are you crazy? Like our relationship. I mean, there's no way I would say that about you. You know, you went with one of my mans before. Like this, how can you even believe this? I was just so baffled. I was just like, well, if you believe that, then I mean, we not friends anyway. Or like, it was just one of those things where I didn't know I was just like, did not know what to say. So moving forward on, go. I didn't understand how this possibly happened. I just was so in awe. I was like, this is crazy. This must be like a practical joke. But we go farther down, 8th period. Let's say the girl named Mazda. There's a girl named Mazda that comes in the classroom. And she just comes in the classroom. She comes in the classroom. There's a person named Mazda that comes in the classroom and just starts saying sorry to me. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? Boom, remember that one time we was talking about Samantha? I was like, no, I was like, wow. So this was one time random, maybe for a couple minutes, we was talking about the girl Samantha. And my thing was, only thing I said was like, yes, we're really close friends. That's my best friend. We talk about everything. It was all positive. It was very short, nothing crazy at all. But from that point, they both had a mutual friend that I don't know what happened, where that information got to the mutual friend and it got to Samantha, and it was flip-flopped and all this type of stuff. And she came to me on some
telephone game. Yeah.
So for me being me in high school, y'all know how I was. I ain't talk to nobody in high school, right? I very rarely talked to her. Senior year, that was the first time I had a conversation with the Mazda person. Like I never really even talked. So something like that happening to me, and it was like somebody who I consider, if I got introverted quality, somebody that I could exchange it with, that's valuable. That's something. You know what I mean? That's something to me, right? So she come to me like that, and it was like out of nothing, out of just a quick conversation, how information like that flowed to her and blah 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 blah. So for me, as you know, that something like that crystal, like it made me like shut more in. Like I'm not talking to nobody about nothing. You know what I mean? How like that's crazy. Like that was just a crazy thing to me. You know what I mean? Farther on, you know, Samantha kind of she apologized, she rectified, she said she trusted somebody she shouldn't have trusted, blah blah blah. So it was reconciled later on. But something like that, you know what I mean, for somebody like me, kind of like it shut me down. Like, bro, I don't talk to nobody, because that, like, it was just something so simple. Two people, I don't know how, I'm assuming 2 people miles later and got to somebody here to like a friendship, somebody we consider best friends. Friendship was ended. Like we're not friends anymore off that. You know what I mean? So I know, like, I mean, I don't even know. I feel like I've been talking so long, so I'm on a tangent. Does this apply to what we was talking about?
Well, yeah, it talked about like people not wanting to open up no more because
bam. So for me, and my relationship, it was struggles. You know what I mean? It was multiple things like that in high school when I was younger. My dad kind of, you know, to himself, you know what I'm saying? So other things. So for somebody from specific to me, so it was a struggle to open up in my relationship. I wasn't, you know, I'm not really, you know, I don't give information out to people unless I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's just all the time.
You know, it's not. Because it comes off as that, but like it's just little things. Like I guess that's a trauma. It's like a personality that was built to like save me from feeling that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I felt like helpless in that moment. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to feel helpless in no moment. So the only person that got all the information is me. I'm the only one who got all the information. You know what I mean? So but I don't know if that's necessarily healthy all the time. Sometimes that can come out as unhealthy in other scenarios. So it's good to deal with that stuff, like understanding that happened. Keep going back to either farther back in childhood to see why I'm so, you know, shut down and not really want to tell, you know what I mean? To go see, I'm not saying I'm a change. I'm not saying I'm not start just giving out information, but I do want to know why, you know what I mean? I do want to know why it's like that. And then I was like, all right, boom. And I see it, then I adjust this accordingly. But that's something just for somebody like me, how I became even more quote unquote introvert. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that. And like it's a saying that hell hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So like I said, we all been there. We all, if whether it's our moms, our cousins, aunts, it's been somebody that didn't chew us out. And that's it. I mean, I don't blame a lot of men for not always wanting to open up, because sometimes it's weird where it's been spaces for us to really, really do that. And I think this podcast has been one place that I feel like we've been opening up more. I've been learning more about Rad than I like ever had, just because we on the podcast, we gotta talk like that story. So that's all.
I thought y'all didn't hear about that.
And that was 11 years.
Y'all never heard about
Mike,
that?
right?
I feel like I told you. I feel like I told y'all. I feel like y'all know about this.
I know about a piece of it.
Okay.
So, do we want to stay more into the culture and go to Ye? Y'all,
Sure.
you want to go Ye?
Why not?
Or any more relationships that we want to talk about before we move on?
We gotta say something when Preach comes so he can
All right.
let the women know how he feels.
It was good. It was actually good. I didn't tell that story with Preacher.
Actually. No, Preach let the women know how they feel.
He would have said names and like he would have just been like, bruh, relax.
Because we definitely got to do a relationship audit coming up too.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go into the Ye interview. Ye was on Drink Champs with Nori. Had like a 2-hour or so interview. Talked about a little bit of everything. So how y'all want to discuss this? Y'all just want to just talk about how y'all felt, anything specific that y'all want to discuss? How y'all want to do it?
We can just dive right into it, I guess. I heard it's supposed to be another part 2 coming out Thursday too.
I guess let's start with what was the most interesting thing that y'all thought he talked about, or the most interesting part of the interview?
I mean, y'all know how I feel about Ye. You know, I mean, I came on here before, you know, had a whole big old thing about Ye before, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. So I think the whole interview was good. You know, for what it was. I guess my biggest critique to it is like I think he was serving too many masters. If that makes sense, if you understand what that means. Like he was, you know, talking about life, existential stuff, and then he went back to, I guess, petty stuff, I guess, if you consider it petty and somewhat, you know. So, but that was cool too. That was Jay. That what makes him, you know what I mean? I guess that's, you know, the ego in him, the jealousy in him, the stuff that drives him. So, you know, that's what makes him. But yeah, I think yeah, you know, is a genius. I think he's moved from hip hop history to, I think, American history. I think he's an American history story. I think he's really that talented. I really think he's really that much of a genius. I think, you know, he's that much of a trendsetter. For me, I don't see I mean, I know this might be, I don't know. But for me, I think he's telling us like, yo, I'm like Neo in the Matrix. That's who, like, you watching Neo in the Matrix and nobody realizing it. You know, we all kind of not realizing how precious what I'm doing, you know, how I'm pushing culture forward, how I'm Drake, I'm competing with Drake, I'm competing with Virgil at the highest level of fashion, music, and, you know, I'm competing with, you know, having meetings with Elon Musk, and, you know, I'm the I guess that's not the singular, but I'm one of the connections, probably is the singular connection that connects all of those worlds. You know what I mean? It's me when it comes down to all of it. You know what I mean? I'm the creative guy, you know, in a sense. So I've been seeing it. You know, I think that Sway interview for me was, you know, that's when I harpen back. I go back to it often. You know, I just go back to it because I thought, you know, he was just speaking truth. You know what I mean? It was just that was even before how he is now. That was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago it was. Yeah. And it was it's almost, if you go watch it, it's foreshadowing. It's like you go back and watch it now. It's like he spoke all this. He knew who he was. He's like, oh, I'm Disney. I am it right now. You know what I mean? I'm it. And he said he worth $9 billion. Who knows? Whatever. If 6 billion, 7, whatever the number is. That's what he said he's worth. That's what he said he's worth. And it's like, I mean, he said it back then. He said, somebody give me the chance. I'm gonna turn up. And Adidas gave him that chance and he turned up. You know what I mean? So I just believe him. You know what I mean? I just watch and believe him. I don't get jiggy with necessarily all the stuff, the Drake stuff and all that stuff, but it's fine. I think he was honest. You know, I think in that it was honesty. He was candid. And I'm never gonna be mad at that. I'm never gonna be mad at him being candid. I'm never gonna be mad at him being emotional about stuff that happened to him. You know what I mean? So I it's not like I didn't like it. I thought it was I thought it was good. I'm not gonna say it was nothing wrong. It was a shift. You know what I mean? But it still was good to me. I appreciated the whole interview.
Oh yeah, I can just echo, what Raz said. Pretty dope interview. I watched it. I was ahead of the game actually a little bit, and it's not that often. I'm throwing stuff in the chat, and Mike like, slow down, bro. I didn't even get there yet. So that was pretty cool. But interview, it's good to see, African Americans, doing good. A lot of time we turn on the TV, we always see like the other people, them the ones that's making all the money. Them are the ones looking good, having a successful life. It's just good to see people, of our skin color, out there thriving and doing whatever they can to make, their lives better as well as their children and stuff like that. But yeah, it was some questionable moments that I thought Kanye was just off on or on one, I guess, when he was just saying anything.
Like what?
But like for instance, the whole thing, like when they played the game, I forgot what the name of the game was, but they played a game
either or something like that, and
they
or
had to pick,
something like that.
one person, other person, and then like he was saying, yeah, I'm rocking with this person because they're from Virginia, and they wasn't even from Virginia, so he was just saying this stupid stuff, and the whole thing with Big Sean and Soulja Boy, he said, Big Sean was the worst decision he ever made. But then he hung out with Big Sean the next day, and he said Soulja Boy had the worst verse. He said, "You hear that verse? Yeah, you ain't hear that verse because that joke was trash." And then Soulja came out with his video just airing Kanye out about, "Yo, bro, you ain't telling me that the verse was trash, blah, blah. You said the joke was fire," and all that other stuff. So it's like, yo, bro, what's the truth? You know what I'm saying? What was really true? Like, was this whole interview BS, or was you, out there trying to get people to just hear whatever you thought they wanted to hear? Because he kept saying, like, yo, I might get canceled. People might feel a certain way about me. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted that. But it was inspiring. It was an inspiring interview. See somebody, like Raz said, he's up there with the biggest and the best people out there. Musk, Tesla. He meeting with people, with Balenciaga thing. And then he's saying, like, yo, these people worked with me first. You know what I mean? They worked for me, and now they work for y'all. You know what I mean? I introduced you to them. You know what I'm saying? And now you blowing up. So it's like he's like that centerpiece to a lot of things that people don't know about. And it's good to see. But yeah, he said one thing that I didn't really understand at one point. It was about the home. He said he don't got no home unless he on FaceTime with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that for like the whole day. I kind of still
the whole day.
I thought about it the whole day. He said, "This is my home. His bag is his home." Because he traveled, he travels so much. He said, "My bag is my home." You know what I mean? And that, I mean, yeah, I thought about that for the whole day.
Yeah, super. I don't know. It's either you are not poor enough or privileged. I don't know. It's like a extreme there. Like it's an extreme there that he was talking about. I guess you got to be super wealthy enough to even think that you can do that. He said people like rich funds kids are doing not rich funds. What am I saying? Mutual fund. No. What is it? What's the word? Something funds?
Trust fund.
Trust fund babies. Trust fund kids are doing it too. So I guess it's a privilege thing.
Yeah, make you feel
it's
humble,
in there.
I guess. I don't know. All right, what my
pilgrimage? A pilgrimage is nice though.
Oh, I like how he said his wife is his wife. You ain't seen no divorce papers yet. That's still my wife, man. That's still my wife. He said you can't believe everything you hear. I mean, I don't know what the truth really is. That's their household.
Yeah, he was dissing the nannies.
Oh, he said it's quiet for them.
Dissing the nannies.
He was dissing the nannies.
He said they gotta go.
Hulu.
Yo, I thought I was dying laughing when he was like, "No, these are my peers that I'm talking about." Like when I say Musk, this is my peer. When I say Balenciaga, whoever, me or no, these are my peers. Like I don't want y'all to know that. I was like, damn, yay.
He throw them all in group
and
chat.
I'm in the room with y'all,
Chat.
so know that they know that y'all. Yeah.
But no, I thought I don't know. I think it's a line between, I guess, being honest and being chatty. And for me, sometimes it crossed the line. Stuff like, come on, Ye, like if you really are worth $9 billion, I would hope that you'd be moving a little different. than this. Like you just coming on here calling hoes selfish, stuff. Well, you put everybody in a group chat saying I'm richer than everybody. Like what? Why is this information coming out? You know what I'm saying? Like why is this information coming out? None of your peers really move like this unless not.
It was that Japanese wine, bro.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about Nori. Like, you get drunk, he started smoking. I was like he said Joe Rogan and whatever. But I thought it got a little chatty sometimes about certain things. He snitched on this one dude that's moving guns back in the day. I was like, yo, he's like, you know, he good now, illegal now. He was just talking the whole Big Sean thing, the whole Talib Kweli thing. I felt like he kind of put dirt on a couple people while he was in there.
John Legend.
He didn't have to, right? Like Hov said with Dane, bro, I can crush you, but I choose not to. I'm gonna let you rock. I'm already doing me. I'm good. And I felt like Ye kind of did that to a couple people, especially Big Sean.
Yeah, I think that is fair, but you know, I mean, for the Talib, you know, Talib said some stuff about him too in his street camps interview. And I guess the Big Sean thing, I mean, I didn't agree with it, because that's not how I move. But you know, I understand where he's coming from. He a public figure. You know, it's like if you constantly a public figure, and somebody do something publicly, like if Big Sean and John Legend come out against you, for presidency. I know there's people say, so what if you're not for him? But if you my mans, it's a way you can do that, right? It's a way to it's a way you can do that. It's a way you can vote Democratic and not be, you know, come out against Kanye or saying that he bugging, or you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? So if you really my man's moving, if we moving, Big Sean, I signed you, you like, it's some level of in debt to that. It's some level of that's the OG. You know what I mean? I maybe not move how, you know, like how he moved, but that's the OG.
That's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty doesn't end.
So I can agree if he felt as the OG to Big Sean, you know, like disrespected in some way.
Let me spank you real quick. I'm okay. I ain't mad at that.
I mean, I respect that level. And John Legend is a puppet for Democrats. So I mean, him and his wife. They are. I'm sorry.
He called him that too. He said, "John,
they are, bro. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what Biden or Kamala say. They're going to champion. It does not matter. Where is Kamala? And like he said,
been 4 months.
Where's Kamala? And Biden is a skeleton. I mean, we knew that. And they showed it. But I'm not saying you should have voted for Kanye. That's not what I'm saying. But he did call out them people in his face. So I think it was a good interview, though.
Yeah, I thought it was a good interview. So shout to you.
The salacious stuff, I mean, you know, but I think honestly, for me, some of it is like he trying to outdo other interviews. Every time he do an interview, you know, it's like talk of something. It's like a big deal. How Sway was so big, blah blah.
I know, right?
He had some other ones in the middle that maybe didn't hit as much, but I guess him, Nori being his man's, Biggs was there. So maybe he was just saying like, yo, I'm trying to get Nori the biggest show. You know what I mean? And the fact that he was with Big Sean next, quote unquote, next day or something, just I guess he just like he's saying like, yo, I'm doing this just for the show, blah blah blah. But end of the day, it's good. You know, some people not. I'm not gonna say mature enough, but some people not okay with that. You can't just do that with certain people. Some people like, bro, it's crying. Like the Just Blaze tight. Just Blaze is.
Oh yeah, Just Blaze. He copied his whole half.
He's tight. He tight. He responded. He's like, bro, you never said nothing like this to me ever before. I'm confused. I'm hurt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Just Blaze is hurt. Just Blaze is hurt.
I didn't even know that, but I can
Just Blaze is hurt
that by just listening to it.
Just Blaze said, yo, you just hit me up to be on Donda. Like how, you know what I mean? But it's deep, bro. But because it's deep, because the issue is Kanye can absolutely feel that all you did was copy what you did. But that doesn't mean that you're not good, right? Is it possible? Because it's no disrespect in saying Jordan, yeah, Kobe good. All he did is copy my moves. Jordan said that all the time. All he did was copy me. Yeah, he gonna be good because he copied me. So now, did Kanye come off crazy? It came off crazy. Like, bro, that's crazy. You can't just say
Kobe
he copied you, but
though. Kobe didn't say it like, yeah, I watched Jordan, I got it from Jordan. I don't think Just Blaze look at Ye as no superior to him.
Why don't he? You don't think Just Blaze? I mean, then that's self-awareness. That's
yeah. Well,
he should.
Okay.
He should. I mean, I think he should. Now, is he not going to take it as that? I don't think he not taking it as Jordan saying Kobe copied off my
Nah,
moves.
nah.
Like if Jordan said Devin Booker copying off my moves right now, nobody gonna say it. Yo, it's slight. Kanye saying, yo, all he did was copy my style or whatever. It's gonna be slight in that. You know what I mean? It's a different arena. So even though Kanye might see it as I'm Jordan saying he copied me, he did a good job as Blueprint. One of the, you know what I mean? He did a great job. It's coming off as, you know, arrogant ego. You know what I mean? I think
I understand. The Ozzy brothers said that to like Kanye or somebody, whoever sampled them, like the Neptunes. They be like, yeah, come on, man, y'all the goats, of course, like of course. Yeah. But like just blame like, yo, I was in the room.
He's somewhat of a peer. He like a peer, like you my peer. I like copying off, you know what I mean? But Ye is Ye. You know, Ye on the pedestal. Ye, I mean, we in it. Ye in it. He fell off a couple times, I guess, but he that boy when it comes to production.
He may take over.
Do he do the verses?
No, he ain't not doing no verses.
He just, you know, he once again, that's something he just said. He not doing no verses. Yeah, I mean, it's not enough money.
He didn't do it against anybody but Jay-Z. Anybody but his boss.
Jay, hold the balls.
Smoke Jay-Z too.
Come on, man, stop playing. What's that? No, Ye crazy. He
gonna use Jay-Z songs.
all Hope going to have to do is play his 20 Kanye songs, anyways.
He gonna like, I produced that. Yeah, I produced that one too. So and it's gonna that sounded like a G code. So Cole wouldn't even do that. That's just like a cheat code. You just can't do that.
No, producer, anybody with producers it gets tough.
Yeah, it gets tough.
It gets tough.
Yeah, it gets really tough.
So let's move right on to the other interview where the other conservative, they were calling him Karen Rodgers.
They called him that?
Karen Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee show and he just talked about the whole vaccine and everything. So let's go ahead. Let's unpack that. I'm gonna toss it to Mills first. Mills, what you think about the Aaron Rodgers joint?
I honestly didn't watch the interview, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I do know about, you know, his story about not wearing this mask, you know. And I don't believe the whole thing of people not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like they just said that the Packers got fined. I just got an update like 2 seconds ago that the Packers got fined. I forgot the amount, but you know, for breaking COVID protocols and stuff like that. Like Aaron Rodgers was going to meetings without wearing his mask. He was going to
300,000. Packers fined 300,000 for COVID violation of the NFL Players Association protocols because Aaron Lazard and Aaron Rodgers each fined $15,000.
Yeah, so they you know, being a part of the events and stuff, not wearing a mask, and then, you know, the NFL and just the country in general has the whole, you know, protocol with, you know, being you know, safe with COVID, wearing your mask, you know, being 6 feet and all that stuff. But I don't believe that they didn't know, because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility as an organization, as a company, you know, especially if it's a company, you know, taking it, you know, very, very seriously, and they got, you know, rules set in place, you know, for stuff like this, to not be aware of the situation. Because how do we know that 100% of a team is vaccinated? How do we know that, you know, 75% of a team is vaccinated? Or you have to talk to somebody at the end of the day, because you got to make sure the well-being and the health of your organization, your players, stuff like that, you know, is good. So I thought it was irresponsible of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you don't want to be vaccinated, just don't be vaccinated. But you got, you know, other people that you have to worry about as well. You can't be selfish. And I felt he was selfish with the whole thing.
He talks about the people calling him selfish. Go ahead, Rad. I know Rad got a lot to say about this, because Rad been yelling this for the last couple shows.
No, well, my thing is it's so funny because sometimes I go in my car for lunch. And I happen
that's because you an introvert.
Yeah, definitely right. I go in my car for lunch. I think I went to Chipotle too. Shout out to Sam. I went to Chipotle, bruh. You can order Chipotle and go in there and take your food without talking to nobody.
Really,
bro. I went in there and my name was on a piece of paper to my bag on the A table. It's like alphabetically. Whatever. It's A through E, F through whatever, how it goes. And I was like,
you did a mobile order.
Yeah, I did a mobile order, and I went in there and just picked up my food and left. I was like, what in what world do we thought this was gonna be okay? Like, yo, you can just order food. So if you hungry on a strip one day,
not on the strip.
On a strip, though, or some just like smooth criminal walk in, boom, walk out, and you good. You got Chipotle.
They don't check.
And you can
The
go
dude-
through each one. You can go through each one and look like, that got no lettuce. I don't want that. Too much sour cream. All right, bet I want this because everything is on the sheet. I say, yo, this is crazy. Chipotle.
That's why.
I'm a fan.
That's
Because when
I
I'm
did see
hurting
it
one
do at
day, they
Chipotle.
gonna bless
Not
me.
Chipotle. I did see him do a Chick-fil-A the other day. He went in there and checked all the bags because he was doing like DoorDash. He was checking all the bags because they didn't have them. They weren't like that. They wasn't alphabetical order. They put them all on the shelf. So you got to get the receipts to see. And it's like 40 workers in there. They don't ask you like, "Can I help you?" You know what I mean? They don't care.
It's an honor code. It's an honor code. It's
That's crazy.
And the shout out to Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Chipotle for even having. Right, that's just the customer. I guess that's a customer's based thing because McDonald's, I think, would never. You know what I mean? So McDonald's on the Eastern, I don't think they would. And maybe they would. But I don't know. Maybe they would.
It's behind the counter. It's behind the counter. You got to show ID.
Okay.
You probably got to tell you.
Okay, that's what I mean. So they wouldn't. What do you mean? That's the totally different thing. You got to show ID.
Your boys, back in the day with the free lunches, you go grab your free lunch, go home, change your clothes, and grab another one. I want to be at McDonald's. You're like, go home, change clothes.
We just brought all the kids we can. We had mad kids in my opinion, so we had to bring all the kids we can. You know, some kids eat too. We definitely racked up a couple times on the little juices. You know?
Oh my god!
But get back to
yeah.
Get back to Aaron Rodgers. It's funny because I just happened to, I literally happened to, I was turning the dial. I got Sirius XM, turn dial. Pat McAfee said Aaron Rodgers, and I just stopped. Listening to it, just to see what he's gonna say because it was like a big deal. I'm like, oh wow, he talking already. I was like, wow. Mm-hmm. So I literally happenstance to catch it, and then I recorded it, I sent it to y'all, whatever. So I must talk about what I said on previous shows first. I said I just thought the protocols was weird. I thought it didn't make really much sense. You know what I mean? I think for me, it's not even necessarily a vaccine thing. It's more so it's not necessarily a fair race in a sense because you can still get COVID if you got the vaccine, blah blah, and pass it, blah blah blah, all that type of stuff. But they getting treated as if you can't. You don't have to wear masks. If you got the vaccine, you don't got to wear masks. You could be in groups and stuff. And every day it's somebody on the team popping up with COVID. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? So I definitely understand it. What was supposed to do, like far as not hospital and stuff like that, which is fine. I don't care on that level. Far as talking about the vaccine, my more so thing is like it didn't necessarily make sense so far as the ramifications behind unvaccinated and a vaccinated player. You know what I'm saying? Especially if everybody still be able to pass COVID. I thought it was like, it's not necessarily a quota issue. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a COVID issue. I mean, a COVID issue was more so like a quota. They had to they try to get as much people to take the vaccine as possible. That's what it felt like more so than a health issue. So that was my thing. It was just like, I don't think they care about the players about them being healthy. I think they care about, trying to get as much people to get the vaccine, which is now, if they agreed that obviously it's the best thing to have the vaccine, that's how they feel. That's fine. You know what I mean? But I think how they was going about it for me never stood right with me. It just didn't feel right. It just felt, I don't know. It just didn't feel right with me. So when Aaron Rodgers came on and said, the same thing I said about the Allen Lazard thing about Devontae Adams, like Devontae Adams got COVID and had the vaccine, and he was literally just next to Allen Lazard who didn't. He just couldn't play. You know what I mean? To me, that just didn't, it didn't make sense. And it still don't make sense to me. I know it's pushback to that, but that point don't make sense to me. But how Aaron Rodgers, went about it, how he quote unquote misled, how he quote unquote, immunized. I wasn't a fan of that. I'm not, you know what I mean? Because that's, to me, it's just, all he did was kick it down the road. You know what I mean? He should have just dealt with that when he had to deal with it. Now it's middle of the season. Now it's a distraction. It would have been a distraction early on in the season, but by now it would have been over. It would have been over by now. But now you're in the middle of the season. We saw Jordan Love. He did. He lost to Kansas City, a game that you probably could have won if Aaron Rodgers played. You probably won that game because Mahomes and KC offense is broke. So that's a game. I'm not saying he still could have got COVID. It's not like you couldn't have got COVID. So actually, I take that back because you still could have got COVID, still not played. But I think how he handled it, and kind of just pushed it down the road. And then if I get COVID, I talk about it, which I understand. I get it because I do ascribe to it being a personal issue, a personal thing. You don't have to tell people. But knowing, him being on that pedestal, knowing that, being a major thing, being a quarterback, the potential of you getting it. I think he should have let people know and dealt with it and then kept it pushing. You know, whatever that is, dealing with it, whatever that little internet backlash. I mean, I'm not gonna tell somebody, the internet not real. You shouldn't feel no way about it, but he should have just dealt with it, dealt with the questions, kept pushing, kept moving. Unvaccinated, you're unvaccinated. Now you fine. Now the Packers is in the big. It's just all extra. I think if he was more open about it, it would have prevented a lot of these things that's happening now.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was one of his key talking points was the woke mob and whoever he's talking about, the woke mob, the people that want the vaccine. He talked about the left, he talked about the right. And it almost seemed like he wanted this opportunity. Like you said, kicking down the road. It's almost like he knew this was going to happen. And he was ready to step up and talk about the woke mob and cancel culture and all that. Do you think this was premeditated then? Do you think this is why he kicked out the can because he wanted to take a jab at cancel culture?
I think it's possible. I mean, when I didn't listen to everything, when the parts I heard, it felt like it was something he felt strongly about. You know what I mean? Like, when I felt strongly about it, I felt, I said it. I felt some type of way. So I felt like he probably wanted to get it out. So it's like he used the moment to get everything he wanted to get out. Was it premeditated? No, because I don't think he wanted to miss games. I honestly don't think he wanted to miss games. I honestly don't think he wanted to get COVID. So I don't think it was premeditated. I think he knew he was going to say once it happened because he knew it was going to be out. And I think he should. Me personally, I think I don't know because I do keep stuff to my chest, but I feel like if I was unvaccinated, I would answer that like, yeah, I'm not. I'm unvaccinated. If you ask me now, I would say I'm unvaccinated now. You know what I mean? Then if somebody has something to say, I would, either I choose to engage or say I'm not talking about it. You know what I mean? So that's how I think I would have handled it that way. But it has been a storm for people who's been unvaccinated. It has been, you know what I mean? But but some people are quietly unvaccinated. You see Carson Wentz is unvaccinated. He just said it. He not talking about it. I guess Damian Williams was unvaccinated. You didn't know that. So I guess, but him being Aaron Rodgers, I guess is next level. But no, I don't think it was premeditated per se, but I think he was, the clips was loaded, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Clips were definitely loaded. All right. So talk about a little Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about a little football. Let's talk about fantasy. Let's talk about fantasy because I have 3 wins. And those 3 wins have all come against my podcast mates. Shout out to y'all.
Really?
Wow.
That's
dope.
Mills
That's
Preach.
funny.
You, Mills, and Preach.
That's funny.
What's going on? So how your boys feeling in fantasy this year, man? And I'm on my way back fighting. I need every single game. So that's how I am. Rad, you doing a little better. Mills, you doing a little worse. How your boys feeling?
A little. Bro, I am fried, bro. Yeah, I'm legit fried chicken right now. It don't make no sense. Like, I'm in a place right now where I know the playoffs is done for sure. And like, if this was any other league, like if there's any other league I'm in, I wouldn't care. But with us, our friends stuff, we take it pretty serious and personal. So to get that pizza boy title is something that you really don't want. You know what I'm saying? So even though I'm out the playoffs, I'm still trying to do whatever I can.
Oh, you can see that? You can see the Mills?
Oh, yeah, I'm done, bro. If I win out, I'm 7-8. No, 5 games left. I'm 6-8. If I win out, I'm 6. That's not getting the playoffs. The first 6 people already got 5 wins. So
Mills done tough.
I'm good as fried. So I'm content. I mean, I got the belt already clean. It's in the bag. Just waiting for his next owner. But I just gotta get this pizza talk. You know what I mean? 2-time champ, 2-time pizza boy. Don't get me wrong. Pizza boy sound bad, but I'm still a 2-time champ at the end of the day. So I'm still up there. Yeah, so when you go down the history books and you go into the category champion, my name's still gonna be first on the list. So I could take the loss. I accept it right now. But I was a little pissed that Rad let you beat him because
Rad ain't let me win.
Because my 2 potential people to overlap was Jerb and you. You know what I'm saying? And you won, so that puts you 2 games ahead of me.
A little bit more separation.
And then you playing the other person that's 2 times ahead of me. So one of y'all gonna be out of reach. You know what I'm saying? And I felt you were the lesser of the 2 that I can catch up to, but Yeah, it's quiet for me. I'm just gonna take this defeat for the season and revamp.
Oh man, don't
ready
ever
for
say that.
next
Keep
year,
fighting, bro.
man.
Keep fighting.
Yeah, bro. I was in pizza talks to like week 12 last year, and then, like Nick Chubb came back, Mostert came back, Montgomery came back, and I turned my fade around. So you just need to win a couple games, bro, and you'd be right back in.
But
your
see,
team
the
is
thing,
terrible.
like I talked to Rat, the one day I talked to Rat, I'm like, yo, bro, like I never really like realized the importance of the super flex with the quarterbacks. Like I needed quarterbacks. I should have dropped the quarterback second round. Like it's crazy how bad.
No,
I needed
do
quarterback.
that.
But on top of the quarterbacks, all my running backs got hurt. Every last one of them. I was stuck with David Johnson and Adrian Peterson.
Sunday, that's like this my that's what I want
About-
to Super Bowl with.
09, I'm about to say, 2012,
So,
2011. That would have got you. That would have got you.
Yeah.
That would have
It's
got
an
you
interesting
something.
year, though. It's good to see other people,
That's interesting.
winning. Make it's more competition this year. I think it's more competition than has been. We get better each and every year. But one thing I can say, Nas, if you're listening, I'll never lose to a rookie. So I'm guaranteed to be at least get 2 wins because I'll play you again.
Something nice. How you feeling, Rad? I think you got here. You never making a trade again. What's up with that?
Yeah, I'm never making a trade again. I say it. I traded week 2. I traded
You
Sam
wildin'.
Darnold for Deebo Samuel. I was on my foresight. I'm not gonna hold you. I was on my foresight. I had Josh Allen. I said, I know I needed that second quarterback, right? I drafted Fitzpatrick. He got hurt. I was trying to wait for Lance. I'm still waiting for Lance. Who knows? I probably never gonna get him. So I was like, man, I felt like I was deep at wide receiver, which I was. I was deep at wide receiver at the time. I had Allen Robinson. I had AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Allen Robinson, Jerry Jeudy, Deebo Samuel. Was my guy, and I was like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to give up somebody to get a quality quarterback. And you know what I mean? And Sam had 3, and I knew nobody was just gonna give up a quarterback.
Yeah, 3 amazing games.
He had 3.
Sam Darnold.
And at the time, I was like, yo, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Teddy Bridgewater was okay. He was okay last year. Sam Darnold, third pick in the draft. He going to Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator from LSU, who had Joe Burrow, had the best season in college football history. Sam Darnold, was a thoroughbred. I try to have foresight. You know what I mean? McCaffrey went down. The Dallas game, he looked like he was going to be a top 10 quarterback. So I thought I was good, even if McCaffrey lose a couple. And then the O-line got bad. He seeing even more goals. He's the worst quarterback of all time. Literally the worst quarterback of all time. You know what I mean? Who expect that? Who expect Deebo to be a top 5 guy? I didn't know Deebo was going to be a top 5 guy. I got him in the 10th. That's league winner stuff. I got Deebo Samuel. I got Deebo Samuel in the 11th round. It wasn't like, I got Allen Robinson in the 4th. You know what I mean? I didn't think Deebo, you know what I mean? So for me, I was like, all right, he going to at least probably score more points than Deebo. He a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now he's not even playing this week. He's quote unquote hurt. He's benched. He's benched this week. So
is he?
It was just
a couple weeks, probably week like
it was. It was just all bad. I thought I was gonna have my Josh Allen of this year, like this year Josh Allen, or this year, last year's Josh Allen, or somebody he had weapons. He had Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. He had solid guys, and it was just like, you know what I mean. So I mean, it was one of those things. I said I'm not trading again, quote unquote, not trading again. But I think I was on the right. I guess thinking right. I don't know if you can say
well,
that. I guess I was thinking right, but he just was terrible. He's terrible.
In your situation, though, it probably wouldn't have seemed as bad if like Allen Robinson played to the potential that you thought he was going to play to.
Yeah, of course.
You know
That's the Hindsight. Hindsight. I shouldn't have done none of that. But I mean, I think I was aggressive in places that I needed a second quarterback. And I thought, Sam Darnold and the weapons was going to be good. I didn't think Deebo was going to be a top 5 guy, and it was between like, who am I trade? I'm gonna trade Deebo or Chase. It was like I got to get one of them to get a quarterback. That's what I was at. Now it sounds crazy as hell to say either one of the names. Yeah, but as we talk about week 2, that was literally my wide receiver 4 and 5. I started Judy. I had Judy got hurt. Judy got hurt too. I started Judy over. That was the guy I was slotted over Deebo and Chase. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that I even had a Chase. Still to keep Judy came back, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about specifically this week. I'm talking about everything, but specifically this week, it was just one of the worst weeks I could possibly have. Josh Allen, Jacksonville.
Terrible week. I'm so happy.
Jamar Chase, terrible. Zeke, terrible. Mark Andrews, terrible. It was mixed. Shout out to Mixer. He the only one who even had a good game for me.
I know.
Like it was literally like I this was like my best team I had for all my 4 weeks. This was my best roster team that week. Most projected points. I felt confident in like my players, and it was the lowest score. And I had all four leagues. So it was kind of like, what do you do? That's fantasy football for you. What do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had studs, you got thoroughbreds, and they are terrible.
Yeah.
And Mike got that boy. Mike got JT.
I got JT.
That can bring that. He
back in the league.
He the Derrick Henry. He's Derrick Henry now. He could be the Derrick Henry. JT, that boy.
I mean, both of their backs had a great game. Naeem Hines balled out too. It was one of those games where the ground game was just crazy. But I think I'm done doing mock drafts with fantasy people that's in the same league as me. I'll probably never do them again.
On a mock.
Yeah, because I can understand maybe 1 or 2, but when we doing like 4 or 5 a day, for 3 weeks straight, I mean, you try to do dumb stuff to get yourself and make people think that, oh, you're gonna draft like this, he's gonna draft like that. And then sometimes you get comfortable and you just like, yo, on draft day, you're like, oh, you get
comfortable.
Yeah, I got comfortable, bro. Like every draft, I was doing mad drafts and I was just doing the same thing, like picking 4 wide receivers to start the season, 4 backs to start the draft. And I just got so used to doing it. Draft day came, it just messed me all up. So I'm not doing that no more. So next year, don't even hit me up for a mock draft for y'all.
That's fine.
Fire.
You gonna blame your season this season on a mock draft?
Yeah, I know, right?
Absolutely.
I respect it.
I guess so.
But this year fantasy, bro, it's just I'm not gonna say it's different, but I don't know why it kind of do feel different, but maybe not. Maybe it's just I don't know, bro. I can't call it. We'll see. We'll see how it finishes out.
It does feel different because running backs. I don't know.
Terrible.
It is. The running back is just terrible. So it's like
it's terrible, bro. It's like 10. It's like 10.
I think it's also different too with the whole COVID thing. Like before, you don't really see that many players missing a game because of COVID. It was more so like a game being postponed with a top player.
Oh yeah, now if you got it, you're missing it. Yeah, they're not stopping games for that.
Yeah. Now if you got it, it's done. Like Nick Chubb, he out right now. He tested positive for COVID.
Oh, word.
You had Aaron Rodgers last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's big name people now. Yeah, so that's a different thing too.
Well, I think also a lot of quarterbacks like right now that cover 2 that everybody is playing. You see it with Josh Allen.
Yeah, the defense.
Defenses that cover 2.
Defense caught up with somewhat, I guess.
Yeah, Mahomes. Like Hill not really doing much.
Mahomes, bro. Mahomes and Josh Allen were both terrible. Dak was terrible until fourth quarter. Like guys was bad. Like top guys were bad. A lot of the top guys.
But Mahomes been bad all year.
I'm just saying, but Josh Johnson for the Jets. If you started Josh Johnson, was better off. He had like 24 points.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Even
that's craziness.
Even Colt McCoy, he played a good game.
Rusty been hurt. Murray was out. Wait, what? Colt was
Murray
had COVID?
No, he got
ankle.
Ankle. D-Hop was out. Like Eckler, like a lot of top guys. Eckler had a bad game. D-Hop didn't play.
Yeah, it's just been bad games all.
Like it was a lot. It was bad games, but that's fantasy. Stafford had a bad game. Terrible like Stafford in league. It was just bad. It was a lot of top guys were bad. But hey, that's fantasy, man.
Yeah, that's fantasy.
That's how it is. That's how it is. Maybe to give it Sunday, man.
So who
a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs.
Let's talk about the dogs. A lot of dogs. The dogs are barking this week. Most of the dogs won. So
if you bet $100 on all the underdogs, you would have won $60,000.
So who is the best team in the NFL right as of now? Do we have one?
I mean, if you look on paper right now and you look at past games, to me, it's Arizona. They doing it on both sides of the ball. I mean,
Arizona lost to Devontae Adams-less Packers.
Absolutely, but they also just won with the Kyler Murray-less, D-Hop less, Chase Edmonds less. They had a team full of backups, as you would say.
Kind of went crazy.
And they went out there and they started the game off 24-7. You know what I'm saying? Like they had an amazing game. So I mean, if you want to look at it on both sides, I'll say Arizona, NFC, and Tennessee just dominated everybody. It looks like on the AFC side. So those would be my 2 picks if I had to pick.
If I had to pick right now today, like who the best team in the NFL is today, I will lean towards the Buccaneers.
Mm.
You know, I would just go with Tom Brady. I would go with, you know, I believe in that team, I guess, the most. I believe in Tom Brady the most. He got the most weapons there. That defense is good enough. I know that back half is janky as hell. But that front, you know, that front four is dominant. You can't run a ball. You're going to be one dimensional against that team. And Tom Brady, you know, when it get down to the get down, I believe in him over anybody else. You know what I mean? You know, he vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers not. So that's not a potential problem. You know, Josh Allen's and Patrick Mahomes are broke. Their offenses are broken. You know, Russie just getting back. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys just got smacked at home to Denver. You know, that was weird. I know it's Dak first game back, but that was weird. You know, and the Cowboys, crazy. You know, how you believe in, you know, the Cowboys always collapse. So it's like, who do I want to believe in? Who do I feel like, you know, if one game, everybody had to play one game to beat, you know, this one team, you know, what team I think gonna win, the best chances of winning, I think is Bucks. I guess right now, Tom Brady playing at, you know, MVP type level. You know, we saw what the Rams did. You know, it's like, even when you thought the Rams is gonna be, you know, they just laid an egg. So yeah, I mean, I know Buccaneers not undefeated either. But I believe in Tom Brady more than I believe in, you know, every other quarterback. So if I had to pick, unfortunately, it's the Bucks.
Yeah, that was my issue with the Josh Allen and the Bills losing. It's like, I just don't. Brady don't lose that game for years. We just watched Brady just get his team out of the worst situation, even against the Bills. It's been like, we are right there to win in some kind of way. Brady just kicked that last field goal. Like, let's get the hell out of Buffalo as fast as you can. We got this W. All that matters.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, Tom Brady, New England. I mean, if it come to that, they would have won 9-6. Yeah, you know, we not throwing that intercept. He not throwing that intercept. He figured out a way to get that field goal. You know, and that's just a fact. That's a fact. You know, it's nothing.
Priest Boy just put out an article today too. Was it today or last night? Today the 9th. He put out an article today, the ball, about you know, blaming the game on him, saying he should have been more, you know, creative.
Putting articles,
you know,
man.
Being more, you know, more in tune with the game to make adjustments and stuff like that. So he put the blame on himself.
It was bad. I don't know. I mean, I understand it. I know, you know, you got to find blame when it's something that bad. You kind of, you know, I think it's just everybody. You got to blame everybody. You know what I mean? It was that bad. You can blame everybody, but I don't think no play call would have helped that O-line. You know, that O-line was a revolving door. You know what I mean? It was a revolving door. You can't get nothing. You can't. It starts there. That's the foundation. It starts there. If the first person who touched the other opponent not doing a good job, it's hard, man, because he the first line of contact, the first line of defense for me to get a play off is this O-line, and it's like, I can't, you know what I mean? Now, is that an excuse in the middle of the war? You got to figure it out. You know, like we said, John Brady would figure it out. So we still want our quarterback. Yeah. We still want DeBoer. We still want McDermott to, you know, to figure it out. Maybe you know, I don't know. I'm not saying onside kick, fake. I'm not saying all that type of stuff. But I don't know. Maybe you do something. You know what I'm saying?
Turn Josh Allen to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, something. I don't know, but I don't know if a triple reverse would have done it. You know, I don't know if you want to do the Philly special. I don't know if that would have done it. Maybe.
Well, okay.
Or would have been too cute. Maybe it would have been too cute. So it all depends. You know what I mean? So it was overall a whole reality check for the whole Bills offense. Honestly, I mean, the defense fine. The whole offense need to go to the drawing board. You need to figure something out.
So before we move off football, I want to ask, does Odell change who is the best team in the NFL when he signs?
No, I don't think so. I had a whole spiel. I was going to come and think it before he cleared waivers. I was going to say, you know, I had a whole idea of where he was going to go. Well, I can still get it off, I guess, just to get it off, because I thought about it. But I thought, you know, him leaving Cleveland, his first couple years, great first couple years, blah, blah, blah. He get out of his situation, go, you know, he's pretty much an afterthought in Cleveland, and then he can go somewhere and be great, you know. And I was like, wow, where did I hear that story before? Where did I hear the story before? I'm going back, boom, Randy Moss. So Randy Moss was great in Minnesota. He got to Oakland 2.5, how many years he was terrible. It did not work. We thought he was trash, cut him or whatever. He ended up signing with New England, and it was magic. It was Randy Moss, one of the greatest receivers with Tom Brady. You know what I mean? And Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, that makes sense. I was like, I can see now. I don't think it's not the perfect marriage, but I could have saw something Bill Belichick just going after Odell, saying, I'm still Bill Belichick. I'm still the maniacal genius over here. I got my robot guy at quarterback. Tom Brady, Mac Jones and Tom Brady, where they was at in career is not the same. So it kind of throws off there. But Mac Jones is, you can see it. He's about, not saying he's going to be Brady 2.0 as good, but he's going to fall into that. He's like, it's perfect marriage. He's going to be a robot. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's not going to lose you games. He might lose them now as a rookie because he's a rookie, don't know yet. But I think they're going to be something we don't have to worry about because they're going to just be in every game they're going to be in. They're going to be there, right? So I think they like Odell away from even like this year being like, okay, you got Odell. Like if Odell, you know what I mean? They got Odell. They got a weapon out there that can, game break, that can get you a 50-yard touchdown, which they don't have at all now. They don't have that at all. They're kind of methodical, don't make mistakes, kick the ball, field goals, touchdowns, or punts. That's who they are. So I thought Odell to the Patriots would have been like, obviously as a Bills fan, I don't want that. But I thought, Odell and Bill Belichick that fit, maybe not. But I thought, I saw Randy Moss going to the Patriots as like that's a cool side, and hopefully he can revitalize a career over there. And it was like, yeah, he can. This is Randy Moss. So I could see, I don't know. He said I saw reports that he wanted to go to the Packers, which is, shit, that's excellent as well. You know what I mean? So, but I definitely saw a parallel with Randy Moss, Odell to the Patriots. But I don't think he's going there. I don't think he's going there.
I'm interested to see where you go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll make whatever team you go to one of the best in the NFL, but I think it will improve him on the offensive side of the ball. Just the ability that he has. He's a freak of nature, as some would say. And I think he still got stuff in the tank, man. He was hurt a couple years. He's still battling some injuries now, but I think if he get put in the right system, he'd be a boom player. As we all know, Cleveland is a run first team. You know what I mean?
Not last week.
Yeah, run first team. So if he goes somewhere, like you say, you want to go to Green Bay, they a pass first team. There's some talks out there that say nice. Seattle want them. They a pass first team. You put him somewhere with a good quarterback that can actually put the ball.
I don't like Seattle. I don't like Seattle.
If you put somewhere with a quarterback that can actually throw the ball, Baker's inconsistent a lot. You know what I'm saying? I think he'd be good. I think he'd improve a lot of teams.
Yeah, but like you said, I think Green Bay is an obvious place. I think New Orleans is a place. Obviously, Michael Thomas is out for the season. Raiders just signed Deshaun Jackson, so I guess they go on that route. The Rams, man, I don't know if that's overkill. Chiefs might be overkill. People saying Bills. The pass happy teams, the people who are going to give you the target. Right. So I understand that. Yeah. But I think best case scenario, if he really want to go to Wisconsin, you know what I mean? I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna get you the ball. That's no mistake in that. It's gonna be right there. No, you got to catch it. So yeah, I think that's can't get no better than that.
All right. So let's get right into the basketball. We're gonna jump right into it. Whose side are you on? You on the Morris brothers side, or y'all with the Jokic brothers? what are we doing? Who we siding with?
I'm gonna say this. Let you can go, Mills. I think this is your topic. You put it up.
It's tough because I can understand both sides at the end of the day. And what they say, what your parents, when you usually grow up, your parents just say, if somebody hits you, hit them back, right? Mm-hmm. That's one of those things to say. And for, was it Markeith, right? Was it Markeith? One of them, yeah.
Who knows?
Like they said,
who cares? Who cares, really? But
I was watching an interview earlier with Shannon Sharp and Skip. And Shannon was talking about what do you expect? If you want to intentional foul somebody, you go up there, just wrap them up. You know what I mean? But for you to run a half court and give them a little blow, what do you expect? You did a cheap shot. The Joker got a little upset. And I mean, the Joker went for like a little haymaker type thing, though. So his was a little wild, in my opinion. It was a little wild. But I can understand both sides. I can understand the Joker side because, you was a person that had to take, the first hit. And you just retaliated. But I can understand, the Morris Brothers side because the Joker's a little more extreme, I guess, a little more powerful behind it. They said Markeith, whatever one it was on the ground for about 5 or 6 minutes. They brought the stretcher out, and then he finally got up and walked off the court. And he got neck problems and stuff now. So I can understand both sides, but at the end of the day,
he better have neck problems. I'd say that. You can't be all tough on Twitter talk about you got neck problems if you don't got neck problems.
If I had to choose one of the sides,
right.
Unfortunately, I'm going with the Joker.
That's crazy.
Only black, Mills.
Only because Markeith. If I got the right brother, he started.
It don't matter.
Well, yeah, it don't matter. But let me lay it out because to start the play, it looked like Jokic kind of fouled Bam kind of hard, but the refs didn't call it. So Markeith.
Well, we know Jokic. He a dirty player. We know that. We all.
So Markeith was like, "All right, cool. You gonna foul my man like that? I'm gonna come in the center court and I'm gonna get him back." But once he turned around, Jokic went and hit him like a little elbow, something chop in the back.
It's like that wrestling move.
Back and fell. Yeah, exactly. Like you throw against some of the ropes, you hit him with the big shoulders.
The Big Show.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Big Show move. So, Rad, where do you stand on it then? Because Mills going with Jokic and the Jokic brothers. Where do you side?
Oh man, I honestly really respect both sides on some just both brother sides stepping up and being like, yo, like if smoke is smoke. Like I know y'all the Morris twins and y'all beat up people because at Phoenix, y'all remember at Phoenix they let a couple people have it. They got a rep for they got rep, obviously. But I don't know where Jokic from, Serbia, somewhere from Russia, somewhere if he dies, he dies, wherever that guy from. Off Rocky. So that's what they on. They probably on if he dies, he dies on. So his neck, who cares? So I respect both sides. You know what I mean? Like they both, you know what I mean? I think Morris standing up for his teammate. Even if I don't know if the picture was even true, but it was a picture of the Miami Heat. All of them was trying to get out the door. Like they was I guess both the locker rooms. This is all from a meme. I don't know if you can even trust the memes with the pictures or captions on them, so it all could be lies. But it was a caption where they, I guess in the arena, both the locker rooms are close. So I guess the Miami Heat was in their own little locker room hallway waiting for Denver to come out, and they was all, I guess, going to go quote unquote rush them or something like that, and it was like a security guard blocking the door or some shit. But it could be all bullshit. Like it could. Now I'm thinking about was that even true? Because that kind of would have been all over ESPN.
It's probably
it was a picture. It was of them. All of them was kind of at the door looking at. So I mean, even that Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley, that grit, that whole Miami Heat, they gritty as hell. You know what I mean? So to have a Morris twin, that's fucking perfect. That's perfect for who they are. So. I like both sides. I think Joker, you take that high fall, you got, you know what I mean? Like I'm the MVP. Give me some respect here. Like you got to have that. You can't just walk away from that. You got to be like, yo. So I mean, and then Morris doing what you do. Morris is the enforcer. We know who he is. You know what I mean? So I think both sides they do what they're supposed to do. I don't think it's much to boo about nothing. I think they both did what they're supposed to do. The Twitter stuff, we'll see, but I think they both do what they're supposed to do.
I would say that we saw this a couple weeks ago with Wilder and Fury. You don't mess with these big white boys. You leave them alone. These foreign white boys that is 6'10".
If he dies, he dies.
Got no muscle mass, just all body. Just they got no definition, but they just athletic and they move fast. The way Fury move on a boxing in the boxing ring is the same way Jokic move on a court. Jokic, how are you so nifty? And
nimble,
all of this,
nifty,
and nimble, and you just so big and chubby, it's crazy. So I will advise the Morris.
Then lean on you here, lean on you,
lean on you.
You know what I mean? It's just too much lean.
290 on you. Put that
all the lean. Marcus, they boys got hands. They got hands. If it's two people that want who on the ring for them, is them are the two people in the league. And maybe the one dude, James Johnson or whatever, the one dude was a black belt. I forgot his name, but. Besides that, them the guys, but them boys, they came quick. They came with bro, Jokic's brother was yo, if it's problems, it's problems. You know what I mean? It's
It is what it is.
I don't know. That was like, I don't know.
Don't do it. We saw Fury get up from Wilder punch. So imagine what Jokic going to do to a Morris punch.
No, that's a fact.
So
That's a fact.
I wouldn't advise it. So we're gonna get out of here, but before we do, like give a shout out to the scammers, because this is definitely a scam. Speaking of more fighting, why the hell do we got Darren Williams and Frank Gore doing a boxing match? Like, what is this a rollout rad? What is going on?
So they got the Jake Paul fight, man.
Come on, like why?
Bro.
Why?
I have no idea.
At some point, why?
I don't know. I don't know how they pick these people, but like it's incredible. I think they just put names on the dice and it not even a dice. You know the little spinner wheel they have on like the little Facebook buy these things joint, the app. You get the app, you put the names on the joint, retired players or players that you don't want to see in uniform anymore. You just put the name on there and spin the wheel. And we say we're gonna have them fight. It's not even a balanced fight. Like Frank Gore is a muscle head. Right? That man legit a muscle head.
Yeah, one was like 6'6".
Yeah.
Is he? He like 6'3".
Is he? I know he was a bigger guard, but man,
he like 6'3", 6'4", maybe 6'3".
It's funny though. I think it's funny.
It's gonna be weird. Darren Williams. I don't know why he's doing this when it's the big three. Is the big three still out there? I believe it is, right? Go play in the big three. Yeah, I hit up Nut. I said, yo, what's good with your man? Is he hurt or something? I know he got that bread. I know he had that big contract from the Nets. He had that bread. I know he had like 8-9 kids or something like that. So maybe I don't know. I'm not trying to count his pockets. But I mean, Frank Gore was just trying to get the record. I thought he was still trying to get. You know what I mean? He was. I think he third all time now. The inconvenient truth. I don't know, man.
Might be for charity. They ain't say much yet.
I guess
for charity.
I guess, but you don't play fight. But they always say that, bro. You don't play fight, man. You just if you're gonna get in that ring, be serious, I guess. But we'll see. I'm not gonna watch it. I'll watch some replays, some little clips to see what happens to he won. But yeah, man, I hit up Nut. He said he don't know. He rooting for him. He rooting for. He said Darren Williams is gonna knock him out. I said we'll see. I said he better. Frank Gore like 55 out there. He better, man. He better.
It's definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be fun to see where the odds at for this fight. What Vegas think? What boys in the hood? Boys in the hood. I got 100 on Frank Gore, bro. Who's trying to hear my bet? It's gonna be funny to see. It'll be funny to see what boys.
Who had the better career? Is it Frank Gore easily or do y'all think?
Frank Gore easily.
Frank Gore Hall of Famer.
I mean, he's third all time. I don't think D. Will is third on no list.
Nothing.
Maybe
he's the third best point guard
players
ever at one point in the league. I guess.
Him, Chris Paul, Rondo. He had that. That was his fame.
I don't know if Frank Gore ever got the top 3 running back.
That is a good point.
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did or did. Probably not.
No,
LT, AP. Abe, you had Chris Johnson there. You had Millsman, Jamal Charles. But he was there. He was always there, though. You know, you had other people just popping up, being great for probably years here and there. But he was always
1,000 yards. I don't know. I'm getting scared now because now I'm all for the bad, but now it's like taking some of our. I'm not legends because that's a little stretch. But just
they legends. I think so.
All right. Well, I mean, Frank Gore at least. You call D-Well a legend, but just
Chad Johnson did the last time. Yeah.
And just fighting is like what? Like, come on, Chad. To me, it's making us look silly. To me, it's making us look silly. And maybe I'm looking at it through white eyes, and maybe that's on me. But to me, we look like some fools doing this now, bro. This look crazy to me. This looks so crazy to me.
It looked like Twilight Zone-ish. It looked like who? Frank Gore and Darren Williams.
It's like bum fights. It's like bum fights back in the day. You could look up some bum fights. It's like
you would rather see this. It would be better if it was on what is it? Fantasy Deathmatch? Not Fantasy Deathmatch. What's the MTV joint? Mills should know. Celebrity Deathmatch. Mills, you watch MTV all day, so you should know Celebrity Deathmatch. Mills loves Celebrity
Deathmatch. I was a shit back in the day.
I never watched that.
Like,
you never watched Celebrity Deathmatch? Really?
Nah.
Wow.
I had Def Jam, the video game. I used to fight with Method Man and
This
Yeah,
has nothing to do.
like this, yeah.
Celebrity death match has nothing to do with
I
that.
thought we was talking about
Jam.
celebrities fighting, man. I'm
Jam,
just saying I
Jam.
had Def Jam.
Oh, okay. Fight video. He's a half Def Jam. But Celebrity Deathmatch was good, bro. They had like, celebrities fighting. And it was funny
all the time.
Yeah, that shit was funny with the ref.
So,
that would be better if they did there. I guess maybe not, but it probably would. It would be more entertaining. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I would rather see them go head up and then like see Darren Williams try to dunk on Frank Gore in their respective sports.
Might be a good fight though, man. I think we're looking too deep. It might be a good fight.
Nah,
I
Probably
don't
won't.
think I'm looking. Yeah, I don't think
We saw Nate Robinson. We saw Nate Robinson.
like we see these people.
We seen
see
them.
these people.
You can't tell me. I mean, maybe he was. Maybe Frank. I'm not gonna say because got a lot of money.
But
in
Nate,
access, but he was a quarter. He was a running back till like last year. You telling me he's just a great boxer too? I mean, come on, man. I mean,
Like
hey, he might be.
it's only one
Might be.
yay. It's only one yay. It's only one person that's gonna be up here with Van Gogh and Mozart. Like, it's only
All
one
these
person.
people with Disney and Steve Jobs. His dad's the real Steve Jobs. My dad's the real Steve Jobs, by the way. If y'all ever could have thought of anything else, my dad is the real Steve Jobs, by the way.
I did like how he said though.
Oh,
I did like how he
crying.
said that. You know what I mean? If his dad used all the money of his account, that just give him more motivation to go make more. I thought that was pretty dope. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Let's
god.
let's aspire to get like that. Let's aspire to be like that one day. Whatever,
Man,
the account is ready for people who can use it one day.
Yes,
One
sir.
day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. It was a great show, y'all boys. Great show. Funny as hell. I appreciate y'all. Solid to preach. We miss you, bro. And we'll be back next week full strength. Hoo-dee-hoo.
Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling like everyone plotting on me. Gotta pray for my people to block where they stay. And I know they all counting on me. To go, we going straight to the top. You can't never look down on the streets. Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling